What's up, guys? Hope you're having a happy new year. This is going to be my first impressions for the Spellslinger in Wildstar. So the Spellslinger is a very cool class, a very well designed class, but I am terrible at it. This is just not my class. It is the weakest of all the classes for me. There's a reason why I did it last. Even before I played it, I kind of had a feeling I wasn't going to be that good at it, and for the most part, that's pretty much true. It's a traditional caster. If you like mages, if you like casters in most games, you're going to love the Spellslinger. It's really good. It's really good in the hands of a good player, just not me. I've seen it do amazingly with, when certain people play it. So, yeah, it's really cool, though. A lot of the abilities are really cool. They have a really cool innate, and in my opinion, the Spellslinger is going to be the highest skill cap class in the game. Just looking at their abilities and how their innate works and how their innate modifies their abilities, I think the gap between a novice Spellslinger and an expert Spellslinger is going to be greater than any other class. Just looking at the mechanics of the Spellslinger, it's the perfect storm for the highest skill cap in the game. So let's start off with the first thing, the innate. The innate is probably the reason why I'm not good at the Spellslinger. It's really tricky to use. I'm someone that's like saving it. I'm constantly saving it because like, oh, I might need it, and then I end up never using it. So the way the Spellslinger innate works is it's a toggleable innate, and when you toggle it on, that little circle at the top, that yellow circle right there, it drains down like an hourglass, and it slowly rebuilds over time with certain abilities and stuff. But you toggle it on, and it makes your abilities better. Some of them do more damage, charge faster. I think there's other effects as well that I'm not sure of. But basically, it modifies your abilities and makes them better, but not that much better. It's a considerable amount, but nothing like the Engineer innate or the Medic innate. It's not quite as powerful, but you're using it more frequently, and you can almost use it whenever you want to if you're playing it, if you're using it right and not just wasting it all at once. So that innate just gives you so many choices. Do I want to modify this ability, or do I want to modify this ability? Do you want to conserve it? Do you want to blow it all at once? I have a feeling it's going to be a very heavily micromanaged thing, because people are going to figure out like, oh, this ability is not worth the spell surge. This one is. Toggle it here, toggle it off here. So it's going to be interesting, and that's one of the highest skill cap. It is the highest skill cap innate in the game, in my opinion. It's actually an innate that takes some thinking. Most of the innates are kind of just like, hit me if you want to own. The Spellslinger, you gotta think about it. You gotta think like, waste it here, waste it here. It's going to be cool. So that's just one of many things about the Spellslinger that are going to make it the highest skill cap, in my opinion. So, number 2, narrow telegraphs. The Spellslinger, for the most part, from what I've seen, most of the telegraphs are these straight lines. Your damaging abilities are these straight line telegraphs. You've got a few small cone abilities, but they're small cones. They're not even big cones like the Medic. You see how my cone is a lot more narrow than the Medic's is right there? So those are harder to aim than the other classes, especially with things like Charge Shot. For some reason, I have some sort of mental block with Charge Shot, and I miss it all the time. I think it's because you have to stand still for that particular spell, and it breaks your rhythm, because it's the only spell that I know of that you have to stand completely still for. And, well, there's that thing that replaces your number 1 ability, but it breaks your rhythm, which is good. It's good that it breaks your rhythm up. I'm just not very good at it. So, we've got that. Then we have the range. So, on top of having narrow telegraphs, they also have the furthest range. So what does this mean? Why would that add to the skill cap? Well, I believe the Spellslinger has a 50-meter range, while everything else has a 40-meter range. So good players are going to take advantage of that extra 10 yards, and that is going to add to the skill cap. So you've got to worry about narrow telegraphs, innate, range, and that's not even talking about the abilities yet. Like an ability like Charge Shot. Do you want to charge it up 3 times, 2 times, 4 times? It's kind of a risk to charge it up 4 times, because if you charge it up 4 times, there's a good chance you're going to get interrupted, or your target's going to go out of range, out of line of sight. But it is going to do more damage. So you've got some things to work with there. You've got snares. I have my Ignite ability, which is a dot. Dot tracking is a little bit hard with the way the current nameplates and targeting works. I'm sure someone will make a better version, like somebody will make an add-on to track dots better than the default UI, because it is slightly dreadful right now. But man, there's so many things that are really exciting about the Spellslinger in the hands of a good player. You've got light armor, so your survivability is not really that great if someone gets to you. Kiting is going to be a big deal. You've got your cooldowns, like your snare. Spellslingers have a Frost Nova of sorts that just roots people in place for, I think, 3 or 3.5 seconds. But, you know, again, if people hit you, they're gonna hurt you. So yeah, dude, it's gonna be really cool. If you're a good player, if you're someone that's really just into micromanaging and getting really, really good at something, and you want to be noticed for being really good at something, I think the Spellslinger is the class for it. There's just so many decisions that you have to make. That's the thing, is that like this class has the most possible decisions you can make just with the innate alone. The innate alone gives each ability, but you basically have 2 abilities for each ability. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I know a lot of people are really upset that I made the Spellslinger last. It's just because I'm bad at it. I'm not very good at it. But it's a great class. It's a well-designed class. I am just garbage at it, though. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And I'll see you next time. Have a happy 2014, everybody.